Good morning. Welcome to Teach Me Now. Today we're going to do grade 12 trigonometry. So we have that. Simplify the following expression: cos squared 180 plus x. And then we have cos of negative x, 10x, and cos of 90 plus x. So I want you to imagine, and then remember that here we have 90 minus theta. We have 360 plus theta. Here we have 180 minus theta. Here we have 90 plus theta. Here we have 180 plus theta. And here we have 360 minus theta and negative theta. Okay, so now we have cos squared 180 plus x. So 180 plus x is in the third quadrant. How is cos there? Cos is negative. But now, remember we have cos squared. That means we can write it as cos 180 plus x multiplied by cos 180 plus x. So now this is going to be negative cos x multiplied by another negative cos x. Then the negative and the negative will cancel out. Therefore, we will have positive cos squared x plus, now remember negative theta is here, so we have negative x and cos is positive in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, we will have positive cos x multiplied by 10, which we can write as sine x over cos x multiplied by cos 90 plus x. So 90 plus x is a co-ratio, but now cos is in 90 plus x is in the second quadrant, and cos is negative there. So this will become negative sine of x. Now this cos and this cos will cancel out. This sine is going to multiply with this sine. So we're going to have cos squared x minus sine squared x. Now, if you remember your double angle formula, this is going to give you cos 2x. And then you're done with 5.2. Now let's go to 5.3.1. Okay, consider the equation 510 minus 6 cos theta equals to 0. Show that the equation can be written as 6 sine squared theta plus 5 sine theta minus 6 equals 0. Okay, so we have 510. So we can change the 10 to a sine theta over cos theta. Okay, and then minus 6 cos theta equals 0. Now we can cross multiply everywhere by a cos theta, and if you multiply by a cos theta here, it's going to cancel out with this one. So you're going to be left with 5 sine theta, and then when you multiply it here, you're going to get cos squared. So you're going to have minus 6 cos squared of theta equals 0. But now remember, they said they wanted in terms of sine. If you remember, you can rewrite cos squared as 1 minus sine squared. I hope you guys remember that from the Pythagorean identity, where sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equals 1. And then you transpose the sine theta to have cos squared theta. Remember this? This is what we're using. So 5 sine theta minus, so this 6 is going to multiply with the 1. So you're going to have negative 6. Remember, there's a negative here. Now negative 6 times negative sine. The negative signs are going to cancel out, and you're going to have positive 6 sine squared theta. Now let's check. We have everything that they want, so let's rewrite it in the right order. So we're going to have 6 sine squared theta plus 5 sine theta minus 6 equals 0. There we have what they want. Now we have to Determine the general solution of 5 tan minus 6 cos theta. But now remember that this is the 5 tan, which we can rewrite as this. So we can determine our general solution from this part. Okay, now 5.3.2 Okay, now here we need to treat this as a quadratic form. So imagine you have 6x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Now you're just solving for sign. It's no different than this. So we're going to open up two brackets, or you can go to your quadratic formula. This is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. Okay, now this side we're going to have 3 sine theta minus 2 and another bracket 2 sine theta plus 3 all equals to 0. Now this bracket equals 0 or this bracket equals 0. So 3 sine theta minus 2 equals 0 or 2 sine theta plus 3 equals 0. Okay, now we're going to have 3 sine theta equals 2 or 2 sine theta equals negative 3. Now remember, to isolate sine, we have to divide by the coefficient of the trig function. So this side we're going to divide by 2. So we're going to have sine theta equals to 2 over 3. And this side we're going to have sine theta equals to negative 3 over 2. But now, what you need to remember is that sine theta should be between negative 1 and 1. But now this negative 3 over 2 is equals to negative 1.5. So this we cannot take. Okay, so we're dealing with sine is equals to 2 over 3. So let's solve for the angle. So you're going to say theta is equals to arc sine, which you can find on your calculator. And this is going to give you theta is equal to 41.8. Now remember we need to go to our formula for the general solution. So 41.81 plus 360k. And then we have or theta is equals to 180 minus 41.81 plus 360k. Remember, sine has two general solutions. It's theta is equals to the reference angle plus 360k, or theta is equals to the reference 180 minus the reference angle plus 360k. But we are not done as yet. One last thing that most people tend to forget, we need to say k is an element of integers for both sides. Now we are done. Okay, let's go to the other questions. I'd like to assume that you have written down, so I'm going to remove this part over here. Okay, now we have prove that. Okay, this is going to take time, so I'll create a separate video of that. Okay, so 5.5, solve for alpha and beta. Okay, so we have that sine 3 alpha minus beta is equal to 1 over the square root of 2 if 3 alpha minus beta as between 90 and 270. And then we have tan of 2 alpha plus beta is equals to 1 over square root of 3 if 2 alpha plus beta is between 90 and 70. Okay, so let's start. So we can try to solve for the angle 3 alpha minus beta. And to do that, you're going to say, okay, let's rewrite it first. 3 alpha minus beta equals 1 over square root of 2. And then 3 alpha minus beta is equals to arc sine of 1 over square root of 2. Now, if you remember your special angles, this is going to give you 45. But now, what you need to remember is that they said this should be between 90 and 270. And sine is in the second quadrant, and here it's 180. So you have to say 180 minus 45. So this 45 comes from the 1 over the sine arc sine of 1 over square root of 2. So now you have 3 alpha minus beta. So this can be your equation 1, and then we go to the tan part. Okay, so we have tan of 2 alpha minus beta equals to 1 over root 3. And if you still remember your special angles, this should give you 30 degrees. So this will be equals to arctan of 1 over square root of 2, which is 30 degrees. But remember, we are working from 90 to 270. So we're going to say, and remember, this is 180 over here. This is sine. This is 10. So to get to 10, if you have 30, this means that you have to add 180. So this is going to be 180 plus theta. Remember, the 30 comes from this part over here, equals to 2 alpha minus beta. Okay, now we have two equations. Let's make beta the subject of the formula in this one. We're going to say 2 alpha minus 180. Okay, we can add this first before. So 180 plus theta is going to give you 210. So this means this side we can say minus 210 is equals to beta. This is your equation 2. Now we can substitute our equation 2 into 1. Sub 2 into 1. Okay, so wherever there's beta in the first equation, we're going to substitute 2 alpha minus 210. So 3 alpha minus 2 alpha minus 210 equals to 180 minus 45. Okay, so now this negative is going to multiply inside. So you're going to have negative 2 alpha and positive 210 equals to 180 minus 45. Now 180 minus 45 is 135. Okay, and then 3 alpha minus 2 alpha will just give you alpha, and then you're gonna have, oh sorry, remember this was 2 alpha plus beta, 2 alpha plus beta, 2 alpha plus beta. So this is going to be negative beta when we transpose this. So this means that this is going to be negative beta. So beta will be, so we're going to divide by the negative both sides, and this is going to be negative 2 alpha plus 210 equals beta. Okay, let's go back. So minus 2 alpha plus 210 equals to, remember we said 180 minus 45 is 135. Okay, now the negative can multiply in. So we have negative times negative is positive, and then negative times positive is negative, equals to 135. Okay, now we're going to have 5 alpha, and we're going to transpose this 210, of which it's going to give us 345. Now, the next step is to divide both sides by 5 in order for us to isolate alpha. Okay, we divide by 5 and alpha is equals to 69. Okay, now we have our alpha, so we can use any of the equations to get beta. So let's use this one. Okay, so wherever there's alpha, we substitute 69. So negative 2, 69 plus 210 equals to beta. So now this, when you add this, it's going to give you 72. So beta is equals to 72.